Hi. Um, I went to the exhibition of the modern garden from Monet to Matisse, and I think the first thing I really liked from that was that the concept of painting was really like photography, because the photography of the time wasn't as that good or era photography, because and that's why they say that the painting was making justice to the photography, and so that's why I think in that moment the painting was very important, because you wanted to make the first impression of whatever you saw at that moment. And that's what in general talks about the documentary. It talks about Monet, William Robinson, James Tissot, which other, Matisse, Soraya, and many others, but always everybody around the same concept, about the concept of light and a moment of the day. Well, not all of them were like aware of the moment of the day. They were about around the idea of light, to make an impression of the light at the moment they were painting, so that they could return the next day and see, like, I was like here, and yes, the leaves were greener because there wasn't that much light, or the leaves were less greener, so there was more light, something like that, no? But what another point that was really interesting for me was that James Tissot painting called Chrysanthemums, and for example Soraya paint another painting of himself, and he was like in New York, surrounded by a lot of flowers, beautiful flowers, and he was well dressed, and that, and the part that was pretty interesting for me was that James Tissot was admiring how women in a painting with flowers make the atmosphere so perfect, because a woman with flowers is always compared with the Virgin. So in this part, the Virgin is something so pure that has to be surrounded by something very perfect, very beautiful. And in the case of Soraya, I think that the painting is called Louis painting, and it's the other way around. The flowers around a strong man, the machismo was impressed in that painting. So it's totally the other way around, because even the painting looks so, it doesn't look like perfect as Chrysanthemums, but it looks like makes you want to make you the question that does that garden really exist? Because it looks so no plastic, but not real, and not as perfect as one with women's. And maybe this was due to that Soraya wasn't that a good gardener, so he wasn't like that inspired as Monet or other painters that were actually gardeners. So these two concepts of light and being outside there were the base of the Impressionism. So I was talking about the painters that were actually gardeners that saw the flowers flourishing around and everything like that. And for example, there were like other gardeners and painters around the whole Europe. For example, in Germany, there was a dude called Bernard. No, that's lie. Called Liebermann, and he was a German contemporary reformist, reformist of the shape of the flowers and everything like that, because and he's considered that in his time he achieved the climax of the impressionism in Germany, and he painted the paintings of flowering bushes, the beach avenue, and its level of light and being outside was that big, because he painted like pretty much the outside and at a certain moment he took that really into account. For example, other painters took into account more. Other painters that took into account not much that the being outside, but the emotions of the people. For example, Emile Nodel is one painter that focused more in that part of the emotional thing. Other painter that was also interesting in light, but not that much in the part of being outside, was Henri Le Sidaner, and he paints painters like the Papillon. And his type of painting was like with a dreaming atmosphere, because he really combined the part of solid objects with the part of the dance and the flowers, and he was obsessed and passionate by the flowers, the rocks, the nature, but he wasn't really part of it, because he preferred to stay inside and to project what he saw. And when he was inside while he was painting something that was outside, he created a really nice poetry in his paintings. Also, another important part is that all these painters are like around Monet, because they compare it to Monet because he was a real gardener, and his passion and not his feeling, but his passion to this way of light and being outside, and relate it how he called mon jardin sauvage, my wild garden. He understood at some point that he could combine his garden and mix it up and fix it up as how he really wanted, but at the end it will take its way along. And that's why I think most of people admire in him, that he knew how to take that part of nature and the flowers and the beauty and impress that into a canvas. And some curious curious, I don't know, dates is that he really get mad when there wasn't enough light, because he was like, so how I'm going to see the beauty of mon jardin sauvage, no? So its way of painting was that careful, because what he paint could affect his image, because he thought that that you don't have to get into the colors that you have to the plate, so it's the plate that has to get to the colors that you want to impress in that canvas. It's a strange concept, but it's really nice, and I think it's really beautiful. And also he was friend of Matisse, and Matisse was also another gardener and a really good painter. And he was really getting obsessed of the tank because of that, of the death of his wife, and also because it was coming up the First World War. So he was living in Givery, and the battle was like near that place. So some people ask him why you are not fighting for your people, and why are you only painting? And he only answered, once kid fight, I can paint. And also he said a quote that I really liked. The quote that I really liked was, if those savages must kill me, it will be in middle of my canvas, in front of all my life work. Claude Monet. And he just said that, as I was telling you, because of the World War I. And I think that he got a little bit of reason, because in this world that sometimes it's like that bad, killing each other, and someone has the duty to leave some beauty in this, for the humanity, because we always concentrate in the bad things, the worst things, and I don't think that is really nice, because what is life if we fill that with only bad stuff, hating each other and killing other people that maybe are innocent of the discontent between countries and ideologies, and someone have to leave that clear, that there are more things beautiful than that there are things that we have to recall the people, that life is beautiful, nature is beautiful, and we are surrounded by that. And a way of doing that was, for example, the paintings of Claude Monet. And bye.